"Who is this?" she murmured to herself, flipping through pages that seemed to whisper secrets of hidden talents, much like the secrets she carried in her own heart about her faltering relationship with Carter and the lingering pull toward Liam. Ridge Forrester, her stepfather, paced nearby, his brow furrowed in that familiar mix of paternal concern and creative frustration, while Brooke Logan, ever the supportive mother, leaned against the drafting table, sipping coffee from a mug that read, "World's Okayest Mom." The air hummed with the low buzz of the air conditioning, but it was the unspoken tension that truly thickened the atmosphere, a prelude to the week's upheavals that would soon crash over them like a rogue wave on Malibu's shore. Hope glanced up, her eyes meeting Ridge's with a spark of determination that belied the vulnerability she felt deep in her chest. "Dad, look at this. It's not just good, it's revolutionary. The way it incorporates sustainable fabrics with that raw, street-smart vibe, it's exactly what the line needs to stay fresh, to compete with the knockoffs flooding the market." Ridge stopped pacing, his designer instincts kicking in as he took the portfolio from her hands, his calloused fingers, marks of years spent pinning hems and sketching dreams, flipping through it with a critical eye. "It's got potential, Hope, I'll give it that. But we don't even know the artist. Could be some intern playing dress-up, or worse, a spy from Spectra." Brooke chuckled softly, setting her mug down with a clink that echoed like a warning bell. "Ridge, darling, not every talented nobody is out to sabotage us. Remember when you discovered me? I was just a girl with big dreams and bigger heels." Hope smiled at the memory, but her thoughts drifted to DEKE Sharpe, Deacon's son, the brooding young man she'd bumped into at Il Giardino just days ago, his eyes holding a depth that mirrored her own restless soul. Little did she know, that portfolio was his bold infiltration, a silent declaration of ambition slipped into the fortress of Forrester under the cover of night. Across town, in the dimly lit confines of Deacon Sharp's apartment above the bustling restaurant, the scent of simmering marinara sauce mingled with the faint perfume of Taylor Hayes, who sat at the scarred wooden kitchen table, her posture impeccable even in casual jeans and a silk blouse that hugged her like a second skin. Deacon wiped his hands on a dish towel, his rugged features softened by the warm overhead light, as he poured 2 glasses of Chianti, the deep red liquid swirling like the complications of his heart. Sheila Carter's shadow loomed large in recent conversations, her manipulative whispers still echoing in his mind, but Taylor's presence was a balm, a reminder of stability amid the chaos of family ties and forbidden attractions. "Taylor, I appreciate you coming over like this," Deacon said, his voice gravelly with sincerity as he slid the glass toward her. "With everything going on, Hope worrying about me getting too close to Sheila again, and Deke pushing me to focus on the restaurant, it's good to have someone who gets it." Taylor accepted the glass, her fingers brushing his in a touch that sent a subtle current through the room, her blue eyes locking onto his with the intensity of a therapist turned confidant. "Deacon, you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. You've built something real here, away from the games. But if there's even a hint of Sheila pulling strings, we shut it down. Hope and we both want you safe, far from that toxicity." Their conversation flowed like the wine, dipping into lighter territories, Deke's unexpected foray into design, the way he confided in Hope about his sketches during a late-night chat at the bar, but beneath it all simmered the undeniable chemistry, the what-ifs that Brooke had hinted at encouraging during a recent family powwow. "You know," Taylor ventured, swirling her glass thoughtfully, "Brooke mentioned something about us exploring this. Not just as friends patching up old wounds, but maybe more. It's crazy, right? After everything with Ridge." Deacon leaned back against the counter, his laugh low and self-deprecating. "Crazy? Taylor, my life's been a circus since the day I met Brooke. But you're the calm in the storm. If Hope and Deke are okay with it, and hell, if it keeps Sheila at bay, I'm game." Outside, the city lights began to flicker on, oblivious to the fragile alliance forming within these walls, an alliance that would soon be tested by Steffy's return and the ripples it would send through every connected life. Back at Forrester, the showroom buzzed with the soft click of high heels as Hope, Ridge, and Brooke gathered around a conference table littered with fabric samples and mood boards. Hope's phone buzzed insistently, pulling her from the discussion. A text from Deke. Did it land? Fingers crossed. Her heart skipped, a flush creeping up her neck as she pocketed the device, but not before Ridge caught the secretive smile. Everything all right, sweetheart? He asked, his tone laced with that protective edge that always made her feel both cherished and cornered. Hope nodded, forcing casualness into her voice. Just a lead on that portfolio. Turns out it's from someone close to home, DEKE SHARPE. He snuck it in, hoping for a shot. Brooke's eyes widened, a mix of surprise and approval lighting her features. Deacon's boy. Well, that's bold. But after seeing his work at the restaurant, those custom aprons he designed, I'm not shocked. The kid's got your father's fire, Hope, without the baggage. Ridge rubbed his chin, skepticism warring with admiration. Sharp blood. That's a risk. But if it's this good, all right, let's bring him in. Hope, you make the call. Your line, your vision. The decision hung in the air like a promise, but Hope felt the weight of it. The bold move she was championing wasn't just about hiring Deke, it was about bridging worlds, pulling Deacon's family closer to the Forresters in ways that could heal old rifts or ignite new ones. As she dialed Deke's number, her mind raced ahead to the meeting, imagining his nervous grin, the way his hands might tremble as he explained his inspirations drawn from the grit of LA's underbelly. Deke. It's Hope. You've got an audience with the bigwigs tomorrow. Don't screw it up, she teased when he answered, her laughter light but her pulse quickening at the sound of his relieved exhale. Little did she know, this move would draw Steffi's scrutiny like a moth to flame, her epic return timed perfectly to upend the delicate balance Hope was so carefully constructing. Meanwhile, at the Forrester mansion, Finnegan paced the opulent living room, his medical scrubs rumpled from a long shift at the hospital, where whispers of Luna Nozawa's impending jail visit had filtered through the grapevine like poison ivy. The grandfather clock ticked relentlessly, each second amplifying his dread over the conversation he needed to have with Steffi upon her arrival. Hayes, their young son, played obliviously with blocks on the Persian rug.
His giggles a stark contrast to Finn's inner turmoil. Kelly, Steffi's daughter with Liam, was at a playdate, leaving the house feeling emptier than it should. Finn's phone lit up with a message from Steffi, wheels down in an hour. Missed you all so much. Can't wait to hold our babies. His thumb hovered over the reply, guilt twisting like a knife. How could he shatter her joy with news of Luna's survival, her pregnancy carrying the weight of Finn's own genetic legacy? We need to talk when you get here, he typed finally, hitting send before he could second-guess. The front door swung open not long after, and there she was, Steffy Forrester Finnegan, radiant despite the jet lag etched in faint lines around her eyes, her designer suitcase thudding to the floor as she scooped Hayes into her arms, inhaling his baby scent like a lifeline. My little man. Mommy's home, she cooed, her voice a melody of exhaustion and elation. Finn crossed the room in 3 strides, enveloping her in an embrace that lingered too long, his chin resting on her tousled hair. Steffi. God, I've missed you. The house wasn't the same. She pulled back, searching his face with that intuitive gaze that always saw too much. Finn, what's wrong? Your text? You're scaring me. He hesitated, the words sticking like thorns. Luna alive, arrested but scheming. The baby that bound them in ways Steffi could never forgive. It's Luna, he began softly, guiding her to the sofa. She's not gone. She's back, and there's so much you don't know. Steffi's body tensed like a coiled spring, her arms tightening around Hayes as if to shield him from the invisible storm. Luna? That psychotic stalker? Finn, tell me you're joking. We buried that nightmare, literally. Her voice rose, sharp as shattered glass, and Hayes whimpered, sensing the shift. Finn shushed him gently, but his eyes pleaded with Steffi for understanding. I wish I was. She escaped, caused chaos, but she's in custody now. And Steffi, she's pregnant. With my child from that drugged night. The room spun for Steffy, colors bleeding into a haze of betrayal and rage, her epic return morphing from triumph to trial in an instant. Your child? How could you keep this from me? While I was away, birthing our son, you were protecting her spawn. Tears welled, hot and furious, as she set Hayes down and stood, pacing much like her father had earlier that day. Finn reached for her, but she recoiled. I was protecting us from the media frenzy, from Sheila's meddling. But now that you're here, we face it together. Please, Steffy. The plea hung between them, fragile as spun silk, but Steffy's mind was already racing ahead, to confronting Luna in her cell, to rallying Ridge against this new threat, to reclaiming her place at Forrester where Hope's bold hiring spree threatened the family legacy. Together? Finn, I love you, but this changes everything. I need air. I need to see Dad. She grabbed her keys, storming out into the twilight, leaving Finn with the echo of her heels and the weight of unspoken fears. As she sped toward the office, oblivious to the portfolio meeting unfolding within, Steffy vowed silently to dismantle whatever fragile peace Hope had forged, starting with that sharp interloper. In the sterile chill of the county jail's visitation room, the fluorescent lights buzzed overhead like angry hornets, casting harsh shadows on Luna Nozawa's face as she sat chained to the table, her swollen belly a defiant mound beneath the ill-fitting orange jumpsuit. The guard nodded curtly to Steffy, who entered like a fury in stilettos, her blonde hair a wild halo, eyes blazing with the unquenchable fire of a Forrester scorned. Well, if it isn't the prodigal psycho, Steffy sneered, sliding into the seat opposite, her designer handbag thudding onto the metal table like a gauntlet thrown. Luna's lips curled in a smirk that didn't reach her eyes, dark circles underscoring the exhaustion of her captivity. Steffy Forrester, back from maternity leave to play warden? How touching. Come to gloat over my accommodations. Steffy's laugh was ice-cold, devoid of humor. Gloat? No, Luna. I've come to remind you of your place, 6 feet under the lies you spun. But since fate's got a sick sense of humor, here we are. You carrying Finn's kid doesn't make you family. It makes you a liability. Luna leaned forward as far as the chains allowed, her voice a venomous whisper. Liability? That's rich coming from the woman who stole my life. My identity, my loves. This baby? It's my ticket out, Steffy. Bill and Katie are already circling like vultures, talking adoption. But deep down, you know Finn will always wonder, always check on us. Steffy's nails dug into her palms, drawing crescents of pain to anchor her rage. Wonder? He'll wonder how I didn't end you myself. Stay away from my husband, my kids, my company. Hope might be playing house with your half-brother's designs, but I'll make sure that door slams in his face and yours. The buzzer sounded, signaling the end of visitation, but Luna's parting shot lingered like smoke. Bold words, Steffy. But blood calls to blood. Enjoy your epic return while it lasts. Steffy stormed out, the jail's clangor echoing her pounding heart, straight into the web of Forrester intrigue where Hope's bold move awaited her dissection. The next morning dawned crisp and unforgiving, the sun glinting off the Beverly Hills facades as DEKE Sharpe arrived at Forrester Creations, his leather jacket slung over one arm, portfolio clutched like a talisman. Hope met him in the lobby, her smile genuine but edged with nerves, leading him through corridors lined with gowns that whispered of glamour and ghosts. You clean up nice, she quipped, eyeing his button-down shirt that strained slightly over his broad shoulders. DEKE grinned, sheepish charm masking his ambition. Figured if I'm crushing the party, might as well dress for the fallout. Thanks for this, Hope. Means more than you know. They entered the boardroom where Ridge and Brooke waited, the air thick with appraisal, Ridge's stern, Brooke's warm. Mr. Sharpe, Ridge began, extending a hand that DEKE shook firmly. Heard you took a shortcut with that portfolio. Gutsy. Show us why we shouldn't toss it and you out. DEKE unrolled his sketches across the table, his voice steady as he walked them through concepts born of necessity. Dresses that transformed from boardroom armor to nightclub allure, fabrics recycled from urban waste, evoking the resilience of LA's overlooked souls. Hope watched, mesmerized, her advocacy fierce. See? This is the voice our line's been missing. Youthful, unapologetic. DEKE's not just designing. He's telling stories we need to hear. Brooke nodded enthusiastically. Reminds me of when Ridge first sketched for me. Raw talent, no polish needed. But Ridge leaned back, arms crossed. It's innovative, son, but Forrester's about legacy. Your dad's history with us, it's complicated. Deke met his gaze unflinchingly. I get it, Mr. Forrester. Dad's mistakes aren't mine. But give me a shot to prove Sharpe can mean something more than scandal. The debate swirled, voices overlapping in a symphony of persuasion, Hope's passion, Brooke's diplomacy, until the door burst open, Steffy silhouetted against the hallway light like a vengeful deity. What the hell is this? A Sharpe invasion? Dad, tell me you're not seriously considering hiring Deacon's mini-me for Hope's precious line. All eyes turned, the room freezing as Steffy advanced, her presence commanding silence. Hope stood, chin lifted defiantly. Steffy, welcome back. And yes, we are. Deke's talent speaks for itself. Jealousy's not a good look on you. Steffy's eyes narrowed to slits. Jealous? Of a barista with delusions of grandeur? This is my family's company, Hope. Your bold move just handed our secrets to the enemy. Ridge intervened, his voice a rumble of authority. Enough, both of you. Steffy said. Deke, you're on probation. 3 designs trial run. Hope, you oversee. But no more sneaking, Sharpe. As the meeting dissolved into uneasy truce, Steffy cornered Hope in the hallway, the 2 women inches apart, sparks flying like static. You think this changes anything? Bringing in Deke to play house with your daddy issues? Finn told me everything. Luna, the baby, your little chats with Deke about Deacon's sparks with Taylor. You're stirring a pot that's about to boil over. Hope's breath caught, but she fired back. And you're back one day and already dictating? My move's about progress, Steffy. Yours? Just control. Maybe focus on your marriage before you police mine. The elevator dinged, swallowing their barbs, but the rift widened, a chasm that would echo through the week. Deacon's love triangle simmered to a boil that afternoon at Il Giardino, where the lunch rush had ebbed, leaving tables dotted with half-eaten pastas and the faint clink of silverware. Taylor arrived first, her appointment with Deacon masked as a business lunch but laced with personal undercurrents, her laughter ringing out as he regaled her with tales of Deke's interview triumph. He's got your charm, Deacon. That rogue edge that wins people over. Deacon beamed, plating a special tiramisu just for her. Coming from you? High praise. Means the worlds if it keeps me from Sheila's web. But the door swung open to Brooke, her entrance timed like a soap opera cue, eyes widening at the intimate scene. Taylor? Deacon? Am I interrupting a therapy session? Taylor's cheeks flushed, but she recovered with poise. Brooke, join us. We were just celebrating Deke's inroad at Forrester. Your idea, remember? Pushing us toward possibilities. Brooke slid into the booth, her smile tight as a corset. My idea? To keep Deacon from Sheila's. But this? It feels like we're rewriting history. Ridge's ex and his biggest rival, cozy over dessert. Deacon shifted uncomfortably, his easy grin faltering. Brooke, it's innocent. Taylor's been a rock. But if it's too weird. Brooke waved it off, but her eyes darted between them, jealousy flickering like a candle in wind. Not weird. Just unexpected. Hope called Deke's in thanks to her bold push. But Steffy's livid. Says it's a Sharpe takeover. Taylor's expression darkened. Steffy's back? Already meddling? That girl's got timing like a bad plot twist. The trio's banter turned probing, Brooke probing Taylor's feelings with surgical precision. Admit it, you see more in him than a project. And Deacon, don't deny the spark. Life's too short for what-ifs, especially with Sheila lurking. Deacon sighed, running a hand through his salt and pepper hair. All right, fine. Taylor's different. Steady, smart. No drama. But Brooke, you're the fire that started it all. This triangle? It's not a game. It's my heart in 3 pieces. Taylor reached across, squeezing his hand. Then let's not break it. Brooke, you're part of this too. Our mediator, our friend. Or more. The question hung, unanswered as Hope burst in, breathless from the office skirmish. Dad. Steffy's gunning for Deke's job already. We need a united front. The table erupted in plans and protests, the love triangle morphing into a family alliance forged in fire, even as Sheila's unseen eyes watched from afar. Finn's day at the hospital blurred into a haze of charts and consultations, but his mind replayed Steffi's fury on loop, her words. "This changes everything," a mantra of marital peril. By evening, he found her in the Forrester Creations atelier, scissors in hand, savagely trimming a bolt of silk as if it were Luna's schemes. "Steffi, talk to me. Shutting me out won't fix this." She paused, fabric fluttering to the floor like fallen dreams. "Fix it? Finn, you hid a pregnancy, a piece of me, of us in that monster. How do I trust again?" He stepped closer, voice breaking. "By remembering why we fight. Kelly Hayes, they're our anchor. And this baby, if Bill and Katie adopt, it's a clean break. No ties." Steffi's scissors clattered down, tears spilling. "Adopt? So we erase it? What if I can't? What if seeing Luna's child reminds me of your indiscretion every day?" Their embrace was desperate, bodies colliding in a tangle of need and negotiation, Finn's lips finding hers in a kiss that tasted of salt and salvation. "I choose you always. Therapy if you want, couple sessions to rebuild. But don't let her win." Steffi pulled back, resolve hardening. "She won't. But first, I confront Hope. Her bold move with Deke? It's leverage for Luna's crowd. We shut it down." Finn nodded, though doubt gnawed. Remy Price's secret, the stalking shadow over Electra, loomed unspoken, a bomb ticking toward detonation. As they left arm in arm, the atelier lights dimmed, mirroring the gathering storm. Remy Price slunk through the shadows of the Spencer Publications lobby, his awful secret, a cache of photos proving his obsession with Electra Forrester, burning a hole in his messenger bag. Luna's arrest had bought time, but Steffi's return accelerated the risk. One wrong glance, and his facade as the charming intern would crumble. He spotted Hope exiting with Deke, their heads bent in animated discussion, and envy twisted like a knife. "Hope, wait up," he called, injecting false cheer. She turned, polite but distant. "Remy? What's up?" He forced a smile, handing her a flash drive labeled Line Ideas. "Thought this might help your pitch. Electra-inspired motifs, subtle, you know?" Deke eyed him warily, sensing the undercurrent. "Appreciate it, man. But Hope's got this covered." As they walked away, Remy's grip tightened on his bag, the secret photos whispering temptations of revenge. Later, alone in his dimly lit apartment, he scrolled through them, Electra laughing, unaware, muttering, "If Steffi ruins everything, you'll all pay." The phone rang, Luna's collect call from jail, her voice a siren song. "Remy, darling, Steffi's sniffing around. Protect our interests or else." He hung up, heart pounding, the week's countdown to exposure ticking louder. Katie Logan sat across from Bill Spencer in their sun-drenched penthouse, legal pads strewn like battle plans, the cityscape beyond a blur of ambition and ache. "An adoption lawyer, it's the only way," Katie insisted, her voice steel wrapped in silk. "Luna's baby, our grandchild through Will's tangled mess with Poppy. We claim it, raise it right, away from the madness." Bill swirled his scotch, ice clinking like doubts. "Katie, it's noble but risky. Steffi's back, Finn's reeling, they'll fight us tooth and nail." She leaned in, eyes fierce. "Then we fight smarter. Custody battle if needed, but adoption severs ties cleanly. For the child's sake and ours." Their resolve solidified over takeout tie, laughter punctuating plans. But Bill's mind wandered to Deacon's entanglements, wondering if the old friend was stumbling into the same traps. "Speaking of messes," he ventured, "Deacon and Taylor? Hope called, says it's brewing. Sheila's bound to exploit." Katie smirked. "Let her try. We've got our own bold move here. Family first." As night fell, their pact sealed with a kiss, the adoption scheme wove into the week's tapestry, a thread pulling at Steffi's seams. Hope's bold move reached fever pitch midweek. The design team huddled in the studio, Deke's prototypes draped on mannequins like newborn stars. "This is it," Hope declared, circling the central piece, a gown of iridescent eco-silk that shifted from matte shadow to luminous hope. "Deke, you nailed the essence. Resilience in every seam." He blushed under her praise, their hands brushing as she adjusted a hem, electricity unspoken. Steffi burst in then, Brooke trailing apologetically. Enough fairy tales. Dad's vetoed the collection. Too risky with Sharpe involvement. Hope whirled, fire in her veins. Vetoed? Without a vote? Steffi, this isn't your call. Steffi advanced, voice venom. It is when family legacy's at stake. Your move invites chaos. Luna's half-bro, Remy's shadows. Wake up, Hope. Brooke mediated, her voice a soothing lilt. Girls, breathe. Ridge is open to tweaks, not trash. Steffi, Deke's proven himself. But Steffi wasn't swayed, pulling Hope aside in a hiss. Fine, push it. But when it blows, Deke scandals, Deacon's drama. Don't cry to me. Hope shoved back verbally. Scandals? Like your marriage secrets? Stay in your lane. The clash echoed, designers averting eyes as Deke watched, torn between gratitude and retreat. Deacon confronted the fallout at dinner that night, Hope venting over pasta at Il Giardino. Steffi's turning it into war, Dad. But I won't back down. Deacon nodded, pride swelling. That's my girl, bold like her mom. But watch Steffi, she's got claws. Taylor joined, then Brooke. The table a microcosm of tensions. To bold moves. Taylor toasted, glasses clinking. And surviving them. Finn and Steffi's therapy session that afternoon was a battlefield of words, the counselor's neutral tones a thin veil over raw wounds. Steffi, express the hurt without blame, the therapist urged. Steffi exhaled sharply. Hurt? It's devastation, Finn. You let Luna in, literally. Finn winced. I was drug-trapped. But I chose you every day after. Tears flowed, breakthroughs flickering, promises of transparency, date nights amid chaos. I want us whole, Steffi whispered finally, hand in his. But Luna's baby, it haunts. Finn squeezed. We'll navigate. Together. Remy's secret unraveled in fragments that evening, Electra confronting him at a coffee shop after anonymous tips. Those photos, Remy? Stalker much. He paled, stammering denials. Electra, it's not. I was protecting you. She recoiled. From what? Yourself? Stay away. He fled, calling Luna in panic. It's out. Steffi's next. Luna laughed coldly. Then accelerate. Make them pay. The week's crescendo built to Friday's gala preview at Forrester, gowns shimmering under chandeliers, guests mingling like sharks in silk. Hope presented Deke's piece, voice steady despite Steffi's glare from across the room. Hope for the future, bold, unbreakable. Applause thundered, but backstage, Steffi cornered Deacon. Your son's poison. Pull him out. Deacon stood firm. He's talent, Steffi. Like you once were hungry, fierce. Taylor backed him, Brooke nodding. Give it time. Finn pulled Steffi aside amid the whirl. See? Progress. Now, our progress, dinner, just us. She softened, the epic return yielding to tentative peace. Hope watched Deke charm investors, her bold move vindicated, heart fluttering at his glance. But Remy's shadow lurked in the crowd, secret poised to explode.